Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of RVBusiness Capitol Talk, sponsored by the Dicor Corporation. I'm Rick Kessler with RV Business. With me, as always, Sherm Goldenberg of RV Business. And joining the both of us today is Mike Happe, President and CEO of Winnebago Industries. Mike, thanks so much for your time.
Good to be with you guys.
Yesterday, if anybody doesn't recall, Winnebago released its second quarter earnings report. And Mike, congratulations, yet another very, very robust earnings report. I'm going to get my cheat sheet. 1.2 billion in revenue, and that's a 39% year over year increase over last year's Q2. And I think just as important is Barletta. If you take out that acquisition, it was still a 29% increase. Again, congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. The team has performed well. We're really proud of the portfolio of brands and businesses we have, and they executed well in our second quarter.
One of the interesting things, maybe a takeaway from that, is you had an investment or a call with investment analysts following that report, and they hit you pretty good on some headwinds. But and this also goes back to what you and Hugh Bauer mentioned at the dealer meeting last week, is despite those headwinds, you guys still foresee a very solid 2022.
Yeah, I'm not sure the investment community is always known for being overly optimistic at all times. They certainly, like we do, they worry about a number of different factors that could throw a business off. But our Q2 results were very solid. We continued to take share in both the RV industry, led by the tremendous success at Grand Design. And then our early venture into the marine industry is going well. And Barletta Pontoons, the newly acquired business from last fall, is executing extremely well there. So, we have good momentum in the marketplace. And while we can't control overall, what total market demand, will ultimately be, we will go after our share of that as aggressively and as profitably as we can.
Mike, looking at your comments from the investor conference, your overall tone is extremely positive. I mean, you acknowledge where the headwinds may or may not be, but overall very positive. Is that your view?
Well, we are positive. We like our business. As I said, we're proud of our team. We have great relationships with dealers and suppliers. We think we have some of the best brands, especially in the RV industry, in Winnebago, Grand Design, and Newmar. And we certainly recognize that these are interesting times. The last couple of years have been just tremendous in terms of interest in the outdoors from so many different consumers, and we were able to capitalize on that. But we also recognize that it's a bit noisy, out there in the external market as well, with interest rates and oil and gas prices, and obviously the conflict over in Eastern Europe. But we continue to be optimistic that calendar year 2022 for the RV industry in North America will be one of the top 2 or 3 years ever in the history of our industry. And despite all the supposed headwinds, that's saying something. And so, we continue to be positive, and we'll let the skeptics on Wall Street continue to tell us all the reasons why the world may not be as good as we hope someday. But we're going to stay focused, execute our game plan, and try to serve our customers in the best way possible.
You spoke directly to the talk of retention of existing owners, and talked very positively about the fact that you don't see any issues there at all.
Well, I want to give credit to the RV Industry Association. The data that we cited in our earnings call yesterday was really a direct output of the survey and the study that they did. So I want to express my gratitude to RVIA for that work. And And if you look at that report, I think it's net positive. Most of the first-time buyers are actively engaged in the lifestyle a year or two into their ownership. They plan to continue to use the product. And most importantly for us in the future, they plan to look at upgrades and staying in the lifestyle long term. And so I viewed it as a very positive report. There's been a lot of chatter around the possibility of seeing first-time owners fall out of the lifestyle in droves. And we're just not seeing that yet. I don't think our dealers are seeing that quite yet. The used equipment market isn't sort of showing that yet in the numbers. And so this study confirmed for us that most first-time buyers in the last 2 years are still engaged.
Mike,
Go ahead, Rick.
well, I wanted to ask you to talk about specifically the inventory levels, the dealer lots, towable versus motorized. Some pretty pointed comments, I think, from you yesterday on both of those categories. Towables, you seem to think that we're almost at where that balance that we're looking for, but motorized, different story.
Yeah, Rick, I'm always afraid to paint things with a wide paintbrush, but towables generally are nearing what I think a lot of us in the industry think is sort of a new normalization of field inventory in the field. We've had the opportunity here recently to talk to a lot of dealers in the industry, and I think most of them would say the towable inventory is approaching pretty good shape. And that really depends on the category of towable and the brand in the industry. Whereas motorized field inventory still has some ways to repair itself. Timing wise, that will probably take a little while longer. As an example, our Newmar brand, which is one of the greatest premium brands and motorized product in the industry, has extremely low field inventory right now, and it will take us a long time to probably get that back to a level where we want it to be at. So again, it varies, but we believe dealers are going to in a positive way come out of sort of this COVID period with two differences in their business model. One, they'll probably run their businesses with a little less inventory, higher turns. I think that's good for their working capital and cash flow. And secondly, and we want this, dealers will probably look at making more money at a gross margin level on the sale of new products. And we think that's good for the industry. We want our dealers to be financially healthy and successful. Their success really becomes our success over time. And so things are definitely normalizing, and to some that means the shipment glory days are potentially over. I don't necessarily view it that way. I think it means we go back to being very focused on retail, as we always have been in this industry, and making sure that we stay disciplined with shipments as they're relative to the retail pace in the market.
I think you just described what you called in your conference call yesterday, the new normal, for inventory management, right? A new era.
Well, I think each dealer is going to set that level for themselves. I certainly don't want to speak for any dealers. They'll do what they think is best for their business. But I think we've demonstrated over the past couple of years that if the supply chain is relatively stable and OEMs run good production models, that we can create an awful lot of retail with a little less inventory on the lots. And we certainly want the lots to have enough inventory for the dealers to be able to represent the different floor plans and the different models that they want to show their consumers. But I don't think it's a bad thing if the industry can have slightly higher turns going forward than what we traditionally have. I think that's really good, especially for the financial health of the dealer community. And it's a good challenge for us on the OEM side to make sure that we can supply product in a timely basis to our channel partners.
Rick, I got one more.
Go ahead.
All right. Barletta, I was intrigued to see in your report as you widen up your outdoor, holdings, that Barletta not only performing, but the spectrum of products that it represents. You're pretty determined, you Winnebago, to redefine that company, aren't you?
Well, we certainly were given a challenge by our board many years ago to diversify the company appropriately in the outdoors in order to have stronger financial stability, especially in difficult times. But we also wanted to create additional revenue streams in ways that fit our capabilities. And we believe the marine industry is going to be and has been for a while a very secularly popular outdoor activity. Fishing and boating and time on the water with family and friends is not too dissimilar to the camping experience and RVing, and the value chain from a business perspective is very similar as well. So we're proud of the two brands we have in our marine portfolio, Chris-Craft and now Barletta. And the Barletta pontoon business is the fastest growing pontoon business in the history of that category, and they are taking share. They're up to around 5% share in the market, which is now a top 5 level. We've stated, very directly that we believe Barletta can be a top 3 brand and reach double digits in pontoon market share in the future. And that business is performing well. Great people working hard, and they really have a differentiated story and product line in the marketplace. And we're happy to add another feather to our cap in that business, and we're going to work hard as a parent to make sure they have all the support and resources they need to be successful.
As I look out my window at the pontoon boats on this resort lake in which my office is located, I'm nodding my head. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining us. Rick?
Yep, I just wanted to say thank you too. Did you say feather in your cap or fennec in your cap?
Well, they're one and the same, with Bill's leadership at Barletta. So we're glad again Barletta's in the portfolio, and we just appreciate your time today to let us talk about how our business is performing. And I guess my final message is, hey, we're optimistic about the RV consumer being engaged and interested. We think demand is going to continue to grow over time. With all the noise in the outside world, it may be a bit choppy in the short term, but we're going to stay disciplined and try to do the right thing every day. And we think this RV industry has tons of runway in front of it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.